Hi, and thanks for choosing Planet Rentals for your next outdoor adventure. First off, we're going to go over some general trailer information that is pertinent to all of our different camping trailers, and then we'll go specifically over the camping trailer that you have reserved. First of all, when you come for your reservation, make sure you plan enough time to get paperwork filled out and the trailer hooked up. When appointments are rushed, we always find that then, some information is skipped over, or, we're not as thorough as we'd like to be. So make sure you plan plenty of time for your pickup appointment. Secondly, make sure that you have your driver's license and the insurance card for the vehicle that will be towing our trailer available and ready for us. We'll need copies of those along with the contract that you sign. Now, it's important that you know what type of site you're going to with the trailer. Many sites have water, power, and sewer hookups, and many sites have none of that at all. And how the trailer works and operates is quite dependent on that. And so you'll want to know those differences before you head out there. And then I wanted to go over some general driving tips for you. When you're towing a trailer, it's always very important to drive at a very slow and safe speed. It's just not worth pushing. Plan some extra time in your trip so that you have plenty of time to get where you're going. It's easier on our trailer and easier on your tow vehicle if you just take it easy. Secondly, because you'll be a longer rig, you need to make sure that you're careful when you're cornering. You need to take corners a little bit wider and plan for that sort of thing. It's always smart to know exactly where you're going, have good directions, or have driven there before, because it's hard to make evasive maneuvers or U-turns and that sort of thing when you have a trailer in tow. And then whenever you're backing up the trailer, make sure that you have someone there helping you back up to help you make sure you don't, of course, run into any obstacles and that sort of thing. And then when you're setting up the trailer, you want to make sure that you're being careful of anything that's overhead on the trailer or around the sides of it. Many of our trailers have slide outs or pop downs and that sort of thing that extend from the side of the trailer. So before you get it all set up, you want to make sure there's plenty of clearance all around the trailer. And then also, we want you to really treat our trailers well. We have what we feel the best trailers and the best pricing out there of any RV dealer. And a big part of that is because we really feel like we have the best renters. So we do put some responsibility on you to make sure you take care of our units. We suggest taking your shoes off when you go inside the trailer. That really just helps with cleanup. It helps maintain the floor and the furniture, all that sort of thing. We suggest that you try not to take the trailer off-road. We suggest that you keep it nice and swept and clean. And then, help with eliminating horseplay and other rough activities that may happen in or outside the trailer, just to help, keep it nicer and cleaner for those that come after you. And then also wanted to note that all of our trailers have a spare tire on them, of course, but that spare tire is not intended for long distance driving. That spare tire is intended to get you somewhere to get a tire repaired and replaced so that you can continue on with your trip. So please don't plan on using the spare tire to drive any extended distance if something were to happen to one of the original tires on the trailer. We of course keep all those tires in great working condition for you. Now we'll go over the general hookup of the trailer to the tow vehicle here. So the first thing we're going to do is lower the trailer down onto the ball of the vehicle. And then every trailer comes with a safety pin. This is what's going to ensure that the trailer is locked on to the truck securely. If the pin goes through, you've got it set up correctly and it can't come undone from the ball of the vehicle. Next we have the safety chains, and they have hooks that clip onto the security hole on the vehicle. I like to cross the chains once or twice, with one going this way and the other one going this direction. Next is the hookup for the lights on the trailer. All of our trailers have this 7-pin RV connection, and so you need to make sure your vehicle can accommodate that type of plug. And then lastly is the breakaway cable for the trailer. What this does is if the trailer were to come unhooked from the vehicle somehow, this cable will pull and activate the brakes on the trailer so that it doesn't keep rolling away. Alright, and then if you're using one of our equalizer hitches, you'll want to lower the trailer down onto the ball of the tow vehicle, just enough to get that pin locked in, and then you want to swing the arms up onto the side of the trailer and lock those in. Then lower the rest of the trailer weight down onto the tow vehicle. What that does is help transfer some of the weight of the trailer up to the front tires of the tow vehicle for cornering and braking, and it also helps with sway control as you're driving down the road. Now be mindful of the things that you put inside the trailer. If you're using one of our equalizer hitches, make sure that does not go inside the trailer on the linoleum. We've had quite a few trailers damaged that way, as well as generators and other rough equipment like bikes and things like that. Please be careful with the flooring of our trailers. All right, once you arrive at your campsite, the first thing you're going to need to do is level the trailer. So with the level that's provided with the trailer, you'll want to check for side-to-side levelness using the back bumper of the trailer. So you just put that on there, and then depending on which side is high or low, you'll raise that side up using the tires of the trailer and the blocks that we provide. With these blocks, you'll tuck them up underneath the trailer tire and back up onto them. If you needed to go even higher, you can build a little ramp using these blocks. Go even too high here. Once you back up onto the blocks, then you check your levelness again and make sure you're nice and level. And then once your vehicle's level side to side, you want to chock the tires using the included chocks. Just one on each side of the tire. Tuck them in nice and firm, and then the same on the other side of the trailer on one of the tires. Okay, now that you're level side to side and the tires are chocked on the trailer really well, it's now time to unhook it from your tow vehicle and check levelness front to back. To check that levelness, you can just place the level here on the front A-frame of the trailer, and then you're going to use the tongue jack, raised or lowered, in order to level the trailer front to back. Now you can drop the stabilizers that are on the trailer. There's a provided crank that you connect here. You just attach it to the end and just crank those stabilizers down until they're on the ground. Once they touch the ground, I usually do another 2 cranks to support a little bit of the weight of the trailer, but you don't support much of the weight. In fact, these stabilizers are not used to level the trailer whatsoever. They're just used to help eliminate some of the rocking motion of the trailer when you're walking around inside. Now when your trip's over and it's time to hook up and leave, you're going to do all of those steps we went over just in reverse. So first you're going to raise those stabilizer jacks that we lowered. Then you're going to hook up to the vehicle and of course raise the tongue jack all the way. Then remove the chocks that are on the tires on both sides of the trailer. Then pull the trailer off of any leveling blocks side to side, and you're good to go. Now we'll go over the setup of our Ragin 19-foot toy hauler. This trailer is a great toy hauler. It's only 19 feet long and 4,500 pounds. On the front of the trailer are 2 propane tanks. Now there's a little access flap here you can use to turn the tanks on or off and to switch between tanks. It's going to be easier to show you with the cover off how to switch between tanks, so I'll take that off. With the cover off, you can see this selection lever here. It's pointing at this tank, indicating that this is the tank that would be used, and you can rotate it over to this tank if you needed to. We generally start with the passenger side tank first and roll over to the other one just by convention. Now to open up the propane tank, you just open the valve on the top all of the way once you're parked and at your campsite. Also on the front of the trailer are 2 batteries and a little storage box for like your leveling blocks and chocks and that sort of thing. Now you don't need to do anything specific with the batteries. They just charge when the trailer's plugged into either a generator or to a hookup site with power. Right behind the storage box on the trailer is the battery disconnect. Generally you don't need to touch this, but it's something to check maybe if you're having some electrical problems inside the trailer. Pushing this red button disconnects the battery, and then pushing this black piece back up reconnects the battery. Located here on the driver's side of the trailer are a couple compartments that you shouldn't need to access. First is the hot water heater. Now the hot water heater turns on and off from inside the trailer, so you shouldn't need to get in here. Same with the refrigerator compartment here. Again, just service access, the refrigerator turns on and off from inside the trailer. Located down underneath on the driver's side is the sewer connection for both the gray and black water. Now if you have a site that has sewer connections, you would connect your sewer hose and run it into the designated hole in the ground, and then open up both valves so that anything you use inside the trailer just drains out right into the sewer connection. Otherwise, you would use this to drain the sewage and gray tank at the end of your trip. Now just take the cap off here and you connect your sewer hose on, run it into a designated sewer outlet, And then first you'll want to empty the sewer, which is the black water, which is this handle here on the side. And you would just pull that lever out all of the way until it finishes draining. Once it's finished draining, then you'll open up this gray water valve here until that finishes draining. It's always a good idea to run lots of water down the sinks and toilet as well to help kind of flush everything out. This cubby here accesses the power cord to the trailer. You can access the power cord either through the little cubby here or use the key to open up the cubby and get the power cord out here. Now we provide the adapter for the power cord, which will make it so this cord can plug into any standard electrical outlet. Many hookup sites have a 30 amp connection, which is more this configuration. So either way you have the power connection you'll need. A little further down the driver's side of the trailer is the air outlet for the heater inside the trailer. Now I point this out just to make sure you don't put anything anywhere close to this and make sure nobody touches it, especially while the heater's in use. Right below that is the freshwater inlet for your water tank. This would be used if you don't have water hookups at your site. You want to fill your tank and take some water along. Now all of the water for this tank goes into a tank underneath the trailer, and you'd have to use a water pump that's inside the trailer to pump that water to your different faucets, sink, and shower. Now if you did have water hookups at your campsite, you would use this city water connection here to feed water into the trailer. You could just connect the garden hose that we provide with the trailer here to this side, and then the other side of the hose we supply a pressure regulator here with the hose. What this pressure regulator does is regulate the amount of water pressure going through the hose and through the trailer lines to make sure that it doesn't exceed their capacity. This little pressure regulator just screws into the garden hose and then onto the faucet at your campsite. Now back towards the back corner on the driver's side is where the sewer hose is stored. Here on the back of the trailer is of course the ramp that you would use to load up your toys. There's just two buckles here to open it up, and then it comes on down. Now to open up the steps on the trailer, just pull the steps towards you and then flip the bottom step down. Located here right inside the trailer are most of the controls you'll need. First is the interior lights, and they also have a little dimming control switch. This switch here is for the outdoor light underneath the awning. Now coming down here, you've got your porch light, which is just kind of a spotlight outside the trailer. You've got a light that's behind the ramp of the trailer, and then another interior light. Next you've got your water pump. Now the water pump again is if you do not have water connections at your campsite. The water pump pumps the water from a tank underneath the trailer up to the different faucets. You fill that tank before you go out on your trip. Now the hot water heater switch here heats about 6 gallons of water in the hot water heater tank. You would just flip on the switch and it needs about 15 minutes to heat up that water. We suggest you only turn on that switch 15 minutes before you need the hot water and not leave it on all of the time. Lastly, you have the bed control for the back queen bed. This raises and lowers the bed from the rear of the trailer. Located up here in the top left-hand corner of the control panel are the meters for the different things in the trailer. You've got your battery meter, your freshwater meter, your black water meter, and gray water meter. Now just a quick note on black and gray water. Those sensors inside the tanks do get gummed up and dirty very quickly. We of course double check and make sure that every trailer is emptied, both black and gray water, regardless of what the renter tells us. If it seems like these meters are reading up higher than you would expect, just know that that can happen during travel or just as the sensors get gummed up. Also located right inside the front door is the heater control thermostat. This would turn on the heater by sliding the top switch over to the desired temperature. Now we do suggest that whenever you leave the trailer or when you're done using the heater that you push the switch all the way to the left with a click to turn it off. Now again, to lower the back queen bed down, you would use the switch inside the control panel and start lowering it down. here in the rear of the trailer are 2 couches that can fold down flat as beds and then fold up out of the way so that you can pull your toys or four-wheelers into the trailer. And I'll show you that now. Down is a bed, and then up against the wall. Now you need to fold in these 2 legs here. And then there are buckles to strap it up against the wall. Now there's also 2 tables that can go in place for both couches, so you have some good seating room for eating. The poles for the tables just go here into the floor. And then the table up on the poles. Now the other identical table comes up and it butts right up next to it, so you've got some good table space there. Then we ask that you just store the tables up on the queen bed up above, along with the poles for the tables. Now mounted up here on the cupboard is your AM/FM radio and DVD player for your TV. Now I wanted to point out that you've got 3 different sets of speakers: your front speakers, your rear speakers, and your outdoor speakers. Now you can choose and select any one of those by pushing the corresponding button. Now to swing the TV down into place, you'll want to support some of the weight of the TV here on the bottom with one hand, while you pull the lever here on the front with the other. And then it just swings on down. And then to put it back up into place, support both sides of the TV until it snaps up in place. Now in order to run the microwave, the TV, or the air conditioner, you will need power hookups at your campsite or a generator. Now to light one of the burners, just turn the knob here to the light high setting and then spark it here with the knob on the left. Once it's lit, then you can dial it to its desired temperature. To light the oven, you will turn the knob to the pilot on position, and while pushing in on the knob, you will reach down into the oven with the lighter to ignite it. Now to turn your fridge on, you'll first need to determine whether you're going to run your fridge on propane or on plug-in power. To run it on propane, you want this switch out, or to run it on plug-in power, you want the switch in. Then you just turn on the left switch. Now if at any time while the fridge is on and this check light engages, that means the fridge is not running properly. The most common reason being that gas is not flowing to the fridge like it needs. Now when you first set up the trailer at your campsite, the propane maybe has not flown through those lines enough for the fridge to light the first time. One of the tricks you can use is to light a burner on the stove for 5 to 10 seconds before you fire up your fridge to make sure that the propane's flowing. But if the check light does come on, turn the fridge off for about 5 minutes and then reignite it. Now just a reminder, if you don't have water hookups at your site, in order to get water to your toilet or your sinks or your shower, you do need to turn on the pump that's located on the control panel. Now to flush the toilet, all you do is simply step on a lever that's on the right hand side of the toilet. Now a very important reminder is to make sure you do not put anything down the toilet except the RV safe toilet paper that we provide with the trailer, or the chemical that helps break down the waste. Now we suggest 1 tablet every other day. You just flush it down the toilet, and that helps eliminate odors and waste. We really hope you enjoy our Ragin' Toy Hauler. It's a great unit that I'm certain will serve your family well. We do ask that you help us keep this trailer in great shape. We kick our shoes on and off as we go in and out of the trailers, as well as we supply a broom so that you can help keep the trailer broom swept throughout your trip. Now we do also supply an equalizer hitch with the trailer, but we want to make sure you never store that hitch inside the trailer on the floor. Please keep it outside and off of the floor, and then also be mindful of the other things that you bring in and out of the trailer. Thanks again for choosing Planet Rentals. We hope you come back lots of times.